to come and
All right, I'm not gonna use the mic. I think my voice carries. Everybody can hear me good? Yeah. Okay, all right. I'm gonna hand out some stuff because at heart, I'm a trainer. All right, and I think that writing is fundamental to learning. So I'm gonna hand these out at the beginning of the row, and if you'll, meet your neighbor if you haven't already, as you pass them out, I'd be greatly appreciative of that. Like Dr. Wayne said, him and I did not meet at all while we were going to the same school for like 4 years. Kind of one of the side effects of the online experience, okay, appreciate it, is that you don't always meet everybody who you might graduate with, okay? But we did 4 years together, 5 years or so, however long it took to get that degree, and he did sit right in front of me. And I did not know anything about him. And if you've been to a regional graduation, then what happens is they start with the doctoral students, and then they go to the master's students, then they go to the bachelor students. And so Wayne is sitting in front of me. Again, I don't know this guy. And then Passion, her name gets announced. If you didn't know, they graduated at the same time. So Passion comes across the stage and Wayne starts acting out. Because that's his boo thing, right? Yeah. He's like so excited about his girl, and I'm like yay! So life happens, right? We're excited. Everybody's excited. Graduation's a great day. I leave. I head back home, and then just like you all have these great programs here with all these information about everybody, we had programs at graduation that listed every single person who had graduated. And I'm having a random conversation with my older sister who's a school teacher in Atlanta, and she says, doctors know doctors. And it was about a bunch of other things, but that little line stuck with me. And I said, doctors do know doctors, and I should know more doctors than I know right now. And how do I leverage this idea? So I go back to that same book that had all of these now doctors, and I go on LinkedIn because that's the professional's website. And no, I don't get paid by LinkedIn. But I go there and I just start writing to these people who are in my book. I say, hey, I'm Dr. Justin, recent graduate. We graduated together, right? Because now we've got this commonality. Would you like to be my friend? More or less. Because doctors know doctors. Which I know Wayne is different. So I can start getting people who are like, yes, 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 and then because just some people have LinkedIn, but they never actually use it, then some people don't reply. And then Wayne hits me back and he's like, yes, but why? Why not? I can't just be your friend. I actually have to know you. And he's like, let's get to know each other. And I'm like, okay, all right. So we set a time, and then we have a conversation, and he's like, I think we're gonna be besties. And I'm like, dude, I just met you. Okay. And so, long and short, he was right? So we might have a little prophetic gift because it came true. We are really good friends to this day. That was about 3 years ago. We have hung out. He came to my house in North Carolina. And he ate my chicken wings. I only bring that up because he said he loved my chicken wings. 3 of my kids played some music for him and his wife when they came. I have 7 kids, 4 boys and 3 girls. And my 3 oldest ones are budding musicians, if I can keep them on the straight and narrow long enough. So that's good, and he got that opportunity, and then we talked about the Refresh, and he was telling me about it, and I've been on his podcast, and I was like, hey man, if you ever want me to be here for you, I got you. And so then, of course, because that's what good friends do, right? You say, hey, yeah, come with, then come with. And so here I am. He called and I answered. I'm hailing from Cleveland, Ohio currently. I have been in the Army for 17 years. I run the recruiting up in Northeastern Ohio. It's a good time up there when it's not freezing cold. So I invite you anytime you want in the spring, the summer. But if you come in the winter, do bring a really big jacket, okay? Because there will be snow. let's see, I'm married, been married for 15 years this past December. So me and my wife have navigated Army life together. We navigated growing up together, and Lord willing, in the next 5 years, I'll be transitioning out of the Army, and then we'll be navigating into that space together as well. She has her master's in counseling. She's my partner. I run like everything that I do by her. And so we have a really strong bond. It's the foundation to a lot of what we do. And when we decided to start Lloyd Squared LLC about 8 years ago, she was my ground floor partner as well with that. So she's co-host. She's mad she gets only 49%, and I get 51%. She's like, it's not 50-50. I'm like, no, it's not. Somebody has to make the decision. But you know, hey, it is what it is. That being said, though, I'm not here for me. I'm here for you. And I'm here today really because I do love, as Dr. Gomez said, exactly what this moment is about. Right, this space where we bring leaders together who are crossing ministry and who are in business and who are taking the moment and the time and the space to step away. Jesus did this so many times, but yet I think we miss it in that before he did anything big, he goes away. Right? Before he does anything big, before he picks the disciples, his team, those people who he would entrust with his word and his product to go out and spread that, he goes away. After he does great miracles, he goes away. He consistently, the rhythm, and there's a principle there, right? This rhythm of both giving and then receiving. Because he doesn't just go away just to get away. He goes away to pray. He goes away to reconnect with the source. He goes away to refuel himself so that he can then have something to give. And leaders, as we all know, people always want something from them, right? Every phone call, every message, every DM, every text, the other end of that is an expectation. It's a requirement. It's an ask. And you're not leaders because you're ready for that, right? You're leaders because you can answer that question. You have a solution for that. You provide that to people, but that can become tiring. Like, if we're just being completely honest at the end of the day, right? Like, leadership, as Dean Gomez again said, and Dean, by the way, you was just all in my stuff. I was like, preach, girl. Everything that we do is a giving, it's taking, it's working, it's responding, and it can become so tiring, and it can become so overwhelming. And that's when you actually know what you're doing. Right? I listen to enough motivational speakers who say something like, anytime somebody asks you for something, you have to say yes. Well, what happens if you don't know? And like, never say no. Like, you'll figure it out. Like, you'll come up with it. Which is a method, and I get that, because like, we live in a capitalistic society, which prizes sales, and prizes money making, and prizes influence, and prizes getting in front of people as much as possible. So now, sometimes there's this temptation to say yes to things that you shouldn't. Right? To be a part of things that you shouldn't. Right? And so, like, I'm very careful with my time. And again, if it's not something like this that aligns with my goals, and aligns with my passions, and aligns with my brand, and aligns with my beliefs, then I'm sorry, the answer is no. Right? But it's real easy to say yes. It's real easy, somebody calls you up and says, there's an opportunity for you to stand on the front of a stage in front of some people to be like, sure, I got you. I'm glad you called. Oh man, I'm hoping the answer to my prayers. But sometimes it's not. Right. And so the fact that you're taking this moment to pull back and to really rethink about and reassess and just make sure that you're in line with what it is that you're really supposed to be doing, that's beautiful. I commend you. You should give yourself a round of applause. Because this is the key to longevity. Okay? And as we're going to talk about this today, so the title right of our little session is Scaling Your Mountain, Personal Development for Ministry and Marketplace Leaders. Okay? Nobody climbs a mountain without a plan. That's right. Nobody climbs a mountain without a plan. I love, Wade was like, hey, I got you. You gotta be here because we're talking about mountain climbing. He knew because that's a part of what I do. I'm a big, not literally climb mountains, although I have. Right? Not literally climb mountains, but for me, the mountain climb is just a great metaphor for journey. Okay, so when you hear climb mountains, I need you to think about like your journey, this growth path that you're on, this transformation that's gonna occur. And if you can imagine a mountain, as you can see even in the picture here, this guy's got a rope attached to him. He's got a pack on his back, right? He's got tools and equipment that he needs in there to navigate these things. And that's what this kind of conference is. It's a place for you to get more tools. It's a place for you to get more equipped. It's a place for you to remember that there's actually somebody who's got your back and who's supporting you. Right? Nobody who ever attempts to gain and go and get ever does it alone. But you'll feel like you have to do it. You'll feel like you have to answer every question by yourself, solve every problem by yourself if you're not careful. And so I want to give you some tools and some tips and some techniques that I believe will help you to attain your mountaintop, not one time, not 2 times, but every single time. Every single time that you have a gifting, an idea, a moment, an inspiration, that if that's something that aligns with what you're actually here to do, that you'll actually make it. Does that work? Can y'all say I can do it?
I can do it.
Yes, you can. All right, I'm excited. Let's get into it. There are some extra handouts, so if you just happen to come in, please grab one of them. Okay. All right. So on the handout, there are some blank spaces because I think that's always helpful to making sure that you get a couple of notes. But I don't want you to be limited just to those blank spaces. Okay, I want you to fill in, write notes, whatever it is that you need on the side. And I want to start here with, I'm going to give you 3 points today. And I want to start number 1 with this idea that the climb develops you. Okay, the climb develops you, and more importantly, that responsibility is expectation. All right, so one of the probably most quoted lines in Marvel is Peter Parker's uncle. He says to Peter Parker, Spider-Man, by the way, he says to him, with great power comes, look at y'all, yeah. Okay, that's Marvel there. All right, with great power comes great responsibility. In the course of my leadership journey, one of the things that I've discovered is that oftentimes responsibility is simply somebody's expectation. When they call you, they DM you, they get in touch with you, a friend of a friend, they click on your website, whatever it is, they already have in their mind an expectation of what you're going to solve for them. Right? They have a problem, they have a situation, they have something going on, and they have an expectation that you're going to be able to solve that. You have the responsibility on the other side to be able to solve it. Which means you need to be very clear about what you do. Right? So like this whole piece that we're going to be discussing is self-development, right? Like how does the leader get better? How does the leader continue to do and accomplish? Well, if the leader's unsure of what they do because they do a lot, right? Then when somebody hits you up with an expectation, you may not be able to meet that responsibility. And if we're being honest, that'll cause you to feel like a fraud, right? There's a word that we never would want to be associated with ourselves, right? Because now I'm trying and I'm pretending, but I'm not actualizing and doing. Right now I'm staying up late at night, I'm stressing, I'm trying to get this information, build this product for something that's really not in my wheelhouse in the first place. So it's very important that we understand that that expectation is our responsibility, and the journey that you're on when you have a goal and you have clarity, that's going to develop you into somebody who can handle that expectation. So don't run from this journey. Don't run from the opportunity. Don't run from the difficulties, because if you're clear about what it is that you're doing, and yesterday at the gathering where we were all talking, I got to hear some people who were very clear about what they were doing. So just so you all know, just full disclosure, every one of you who I spoke to are now going to be a part of this presentation. Alright, so big piece with me is that interview part. If I spoke to you and you told me something, like, not personal stuff, but I'm going to go ahead and use my buddy Thomas right here. Because Thomas and I spoke, and he was telling me about his desire to be an accountant. And as we were talking about his accounting and his CPA and his perspective on rules and finances, and then I began to ask him about some AI concerns and whether he had them, and he didn't, because he is clear on where he's going. He is clear on his mountaintop. And so AI is not something to be scared of. It's something for him to integrate. It's a tool for him to use as he makes his climb. So when somebody calls him and they're like, hey, I got some forensic accounting challenges and I have some issues and some things like this, he's going to be able to leverage every single resource and tool that's available in order for him to accomplish that. Now, if somebody calls him and says, hey, I need you to come speak in front of 10,000 people on the subject of, mental health and science, he should run from that. Right? That's not his wheelhouse. But they were like, well, look, I'll pay you $1 million. That's not your wheelhouse. You got to run from it. Some of y'all was like, right? Exactly. Come on now. And this is what happens. You get up there, you're like, you never get a call back. You just lost all credibility, right? And then you spend $1 million and you're like, I'm broke again. Look, don't do it. You got to understand, right, the expectation. Now here's the thing. This development as it occurs is not comfortable. Okay? But the habits that brought you here, they set you up to handle what comes next. So I asked him about AI because AI is what's coming next. Does anybody know exactly what the future looks like? Right. Because if you did, right, like you'd be making a lot more money and you wouldn't need to be here in this conference. Right? So we don't know what's coming next, but we know that whatever comes next, the things that we've done set the foundation for us to accomplish. All right, so it's his studies, it's his practices, it's the rooms that he's in and the things that he's listening to and the preparation that he's putting in that are going to be foundational to whatever it is that he has to accomplish next. And the same thing in your ministry, and the same thing in your business, and the same thing in your marriage, and the same things in your dreams, and the same things as you navigate physical health challenges as you get older. Is everybody getting older? Yeah. No. We're all. Yes, I read it. But the clock on the wall suggests different. We are all now a few minutes older than we were just a few minutes ago. Correct. Okay, and we have no choice. Our parents are getting older. Our kids are getting older. Yeah. The neighborhood changes. Our houses and our cars get older. All these things are inevitable. Okay? How we will navigate that, right, are based on the things that we've done already. And if we don't have good habits, if we don't have good habits in self-development, if we don't have good habits in order to help us to execute, then we will fall apart when these changes come. It's not very complicated. I don't want to make this complicated, and I hope that as we go through these, we will see some real practical things that we can do. But it does require us to do it, and to do it well. Okay, so what are some habits that build you? Let me give you 4 of them. This first one nobody likes. Discipline of the self. Self-mastery is the foundation. Discipline of yourself. Now, here's the thing to think about. Why do I need to self-discipline? One person. Give me some feedback. Why do I need to self-discipline? Go ahead. Wait, who said? Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Sorry, I was thinking out loud.
Okay, yeah.
I was thinking that discipline shows up in every area of your life. So.
Yes. Great. Everybody give a round of applause. It takes a lot of courage to be a person who responds. And I'm going to give you one of my books because let's go. Yes, now if you want an autograph, see me after. It may be worth something one day.
All right now.
Yes, discipline is important, and the self is the person, right? Who you have to be in charge of first. Now we talked about, or Dean Gomez mentioned that your organization is a reflection of you. So if you want a disciplined organization, then who must become a disciplined person? You. Exactly. And if you're a person who's all over the place, then your organization will be all over the place. It's just inevitable. You can't have a disciplined organization if you are an undisciplined leader. And so many times, the reasons why we don't get the outcome that we desire from our organization's efforts, because everybody puts in effort, right? Like no one would ever say you don't work hard. Right? Like everybody works hard. We're all out there hustling, we're grinding, we're trying to accomplish things. Nobody would ever doubt that. So then why at the end of the day do I not have what I want? I'm not saying it's only this, right? But in the practice of getting better as leaders, in the practice of accomplishing the growth that's necessary for my organization to grow, I must be disciplined. That approach cannot be haphazard. I can't sometimes decide to work out and then other days not work out and then wonder why I don't get any gains. I can't sometimes decide to push away from the table and then other days eat everything and wonder why the scale doesn't change. Right? Like I can't sometimes be a good husband and other times be a bad one and wonder why my wife's scared. Right? That my kids, they will only know what I expect if I check it regularly. Discipline of the self is something that has to be a habit. And if you can master your own habits, right, then you have the foundation for success. Next, consistency. Consistency. So what keeps you from being consistent? There are a lot of things that can keep you from being consistent. But I want to give you 3 solutions to being inconsistent. 3 solutions to being inconsistent. Number 1, you need shorter time between wins. You need shorter time between wins. So, my daughter, my oldest daughter, my youngest one, my oldest 3 kids, I put them in jujitsu. I wanted them to do some self-defense stuff. I wanted them to be comfortable with how their body works. And so my oldest daughter, she was like, used to wrestling her brothers, but didn't want to wrestle strangers. I understand. But I have an idea, I have a vision, I have concerns about what happens when she grows up and what I want her to be able to keep from happening when she grows up. And so I put her in this course, and it was about 6 months of training. And so once a week, twice a week, she's going to training, she's working, and she's like, Dad, I don't want to do it. And I'm like, well, doesn't matter, you're gonna do it, right? So after a while though, she starts progressing, she gets a little belt, some little ribbons on her belt and stuff, and she's feeling a little more confident. I'm like, all right, we're gonna put you in the tournament. And her and her older brother are gonna do the tournament, and she's like, I don't wanna do the tournament. And I'm like, well, you gonna do the tournament? And she's like, no, I don't wanna do the tournament. I'm like, yes, you're gonna do the tournament, and we're not arguing about it because I'm your dad, and I said so. And then, so we get to the tournament, I get her registered for it, and she is crying. Now, my daughter's 11 today, so this is like 6 years ago, so she's like, she was 7 at the time, so 4 years ago. She's crying. She's like, no, Daddy, no, I don't want to do the tournament. It's like, yes, you're gonna do the tournament. We're here, like we're literally here. You're about to go weigh in. No, please, Daddy, no, Daddy, please. I'm like, listen, wipe your face. You're a Lloyd. This is what we do. Let's go. Steps on the scale, does the tournament, wins 2 golds and a silver.
What?
You can't see the video, and you be like, I can't believe you talking about me. But here's the thing. She wouldn't have did it if I didn't have the vision to push her to do it. But what I discovered in reflection that the problem was is that there had been too long between all the training she was doing and what she got to experience from it. Because what happened after was that she was like, when's the next tournament? When do we get to do this again? Right? So it's Allen Iverson who said practice. We just talk about practice. Nobody wants to practice. Nobody wants to keep grinding without being able to see the end goal that I'm trying to get to.
Right.
We need wins. But who determines what a win is?
That's good.
That is good.
You do.
That's right.
Right? When you're setting your goals, we as leaders, when we're trying to discipline ourselves, when we're trying to change our habits, when we're trying to better our organization, it's gonna be hard. So you gotta give yourself props when you do it. Even the little small steps that actually lead to the bigger things you need props for. Man, I read those 15 pages of this book that I said I was gonna read because I believe reading books will help me to become better. I listened to 3 of those podcasts from that person who I said I was actually gonna do. I wrote down these notes. You know what? I need to give myself a round of applause. Good job, me. If you have shorter time between those wins, then all of a sudden it's not so hard. But if it's and here's the thing, when's the hardest time? Is it the season or the off season to do training? The off season. Because now it's me in the gym by myself, sweating, working hard, nobody sees.
Right.
But then when it's time to be on stage, hey, I'm happy about it. Shorter times between wins. Number 2, fewer distractions. What is a distraction? Everything is a distraction, right? This lovely device right here full of all this information that we should leverage, right? But that shouldn't lead us can be a distraction, right? And one of the things I do with my clients is we get real uncomfortable because I ask the question, who in your family is a distraction? Who in your friend circle is a distraction? Yeah, people start getting real quiet. Yeah. You know, let's say that session for next time.
Next question.
There are distractions everywhere, and you have to ruthlessly audit your life as a leader who wants to change and make your organization better and remove the distractions like a doctor going after cancer in order for you to become what you need. And what that will do, if you're doing it well, is it will make it real easy for you to know what to say yes to and what to say no to. Because if it doesn't align with what I'm trying to do, that's an easy no. If it doesn't help me and by extension my organization become better, that's an easy no. Finally, clearer goals. As I've alluded to a couple of different times, when the phone rings or the message hits your box or whatever, and you're like, oh man, it's a great opportunity. And it might not be. Can you say no to that? If you don't have clear goals, then you're gonna say yes. If I'm doing this honestly, because again, we live in a capitalistic society here in America, just for the purpose of getting paid, you're gonna say yes to a lot of things. Because there are a lot of ways to make money today, right? The DJ back here, he's not trying to teach people music. I'm not saying you can't. That might be in your wheelhouse. But what does he do? He DJs, right? He plays the music. He's not there producing it. He's not in the studio because he's crafty. He's honing. So when you need somebody who can put a mix together, right, that'll move the masses, that'll get the organization to go whichever way you want it to, that'll prepare hearts, souls, and minds in anticipation, that's why you call him, because he's a master at that craft. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Right? Like, I want to master my craft, and I can only do that if I have any clear goals. Okay? Number 3, transformation. Again, these are habits that build us while I'm on my journey. I need to become what is needed to endure. These last 2 are hard. Last 2, sometimes they cause us to feel a kind of way. We must accept the fact that as we climb, we will begin to transform. It is a fact. Who you are when you started cannot handle what you are meant to become.
That's right. That's right.
Where you are meant to go. The person at the bottom of the mountain is not strong enough to make it to the top of the mountain.
That's right.
Wow.
There is literal growth that occurs in like the non-metaphor climbing of a mountain as one's hands grip a rope and pull themselves up. The broadening of one's shoulder as you carry a heavy bag, right, up that mountain. And in the metaphor, this transformation that occurs in confidence, right, in intellect, as you increase your content. I've written 5 books. I didn't start off writing 5 books. I wrote 1 book and then I did research and I got into it and I wrote another book and I got more content and I went and listened to some people and got mentored and I wrote another book and then I had an idea about some more stuff and I did some more research and I wrote another book. All of that was the growth. Now I can tell you the stuff that's in all the books without reading or doing the books because the content is now mine. But that did growth. I didn't have that content when I wrote my first book. The first book didn't know the 5th book was coming.
I like that.
The things that you are called to do in the future, you must grow and become. But in order to do that, this is where we don't like. Right. Right. We have to change. So we say don't fear it, embrace it. You will do one of 2 things when you begin to transform. will see your transformation also means change, and you will run from it, or you will see your transformation is growing you, and you will embrace it. It's up to you. It's up to you. But without it, without embracing the fact that you are changing and that you are transforming, here's the thing, again, it starts with you, but then it goes to your organization, and then it goes to your circle, and then it begins to affect your friends, and then it begins, and all of a sudden now, people who you roll with, who you walk with, who you've been around all your life is like, you're different. Wait, I didn't change. You did. 100%. And the problem is, I did and you didn't.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That is good.
All right.
Excuse me.
Yeah, yeah, go
What's
ahead.
the first little picture on your, diagram?
It's just a circle with the arrow.
Circle with arrow?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, like a bullseye.
Thank you.
Arrow.
There you go.
Okay, so that's one. So how do I do this though? Habits that build, right? Discipline, consistency, transformation, change. Is it random? How do I say? I got you. Great question. Self-development is a system. Self-development is a system. I'm gonna suggest to you that this does not just happen randomly, but you have to be intentional, and more important, because each new goal, each new opportunity is a new mountain, but you have to update that as you grow. So, the young man here is, what are you doing in Surrey County?
Board of Supervisors.
Board of Supervisors. All right. Is he gonna stay Board of Supervisors forever?
No.
Heck no. I don't even know you and I know that you're 20 years old. We already in the Board of Supervisors. There's absolutely no way. So, what's next? You can't tell me. Okay, I got you. Oh, right. You can't tell everybody your gift.
Like a politician, man, can't let
Exactly. You can't say it now, but you know he's thinking about it. As he grows and develops, each new place that he goes to, each new room that he walks into, each new role that he attains. Maybe he's the governor one day. Maybe we're looking at the future Barack Obama here in front of our room. He's gonna have to update the system. Yeah. Right? Because the Surrey County Board of Supervisors, guys, system of self-development is not good enough for him to lead the entire country or the state or the Commonwealth or whatever, however it is set up here in Virginia, right? Like every time, and the same thing. So my church is small, and then my church grows, but I don't grow. Guess where my church is gonna be again? It's gonna be small real soon. Because I have to grow and I have to do this intentionally. Okay. So self-development is a system. Here we go. Battle rhythm. Guaranteed results through consistency. Battle rhythm. That's the link. The battle is there. I'm an Army guy. We do battles, so hence the term battle in front of the rhythm. You put whatever you want there. But rhythm, the battle rhythm is the key. What is the key? I can guarantee my results if I'm consistent. Now, it's guaranteed if you're consistent because that's what consistency does, right? It's the same thing. So if you have the wrong system, you're gonna get the wrong results. I just want y'all to understand this does not guarantee you accomplishing anything if you do it wrong. Okay? If I consistently eat the wrong food, I will consistently be unhealthy.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so the only thing about consistency that you're hacking is if you do it the right way. Alright, but if you do it the right way, okay, so the whole concept of a battle rhythm is what's my day-to-day life look like? What do you do when you start up in the morning? In fact, let's just start here. What time do you wake up and is it different every day? Now I will tell you that Monday through Friday, my alarm goes off at 4:15 in the morning. That's what time I start my day. It is the exact same first 2 hours of every single morning. 4:15, I wake up. 4:30, take care of my bathroom stuff. 4:30 to 4:45 is my prayer time. 4:45 to 5 is my prep for the gym time. 5 to 6, 5 to 5:45, that's my morning workout. Get that in. 5:45 to 6 is my shower time. 6 o'clock, I'm in the kitchen. My kids are getting up. I'm getting breakfast fixed. By 7:20, we're on the way to the school, dropping them off. By 7:45, I'm on my way to work. I'm usually in my office about 8:15, and then I'm on and popping with the day. Monday through Friday.
And that's consistent every
That's
day.
consistent every day. And I know that. Watch this. Watch this.
Come on, come on,
I got No luggage, you make sure you got her. I do that Monday through Friday. I know it. My wife knows it. My kids know it. Right? So nobody's surprised. In fact, the real surprise is when I'm offering them, and they're like, so if I work different or I hit a different location, so I don't go in, they're like, why are you here? My uniform. Why aren't you wearing your uniform? What's wrong? What's going on? Right? That battle rhythm of our life becomes, we do Saturday morning family workouts. That's the power of our battle rhythm. They know once the snow melts, Saturday mornings, 10 o'clock, we're all outside, let's get it. They ain't getting breakfast before, so they come down and get a snack. They gotta eat an orange or a Beast banana, we're gonna work out, and then they get breakfast after. It is what it is. It is what it is. It's the Lloyd life. It's the rhythm. It's the vision that I have for it. So I have a battle rhythm for my life. You have a battle rhythm for Sunday. You have a battle rhythm for Saturday. When I was working, now watch this. This is where it changes. When I was working on my master's, I didn't have to get up as early. When I went to working on my doctorate, I had to get up at 3:30 because I needed more time to study, more time to prepare. Now, I'm done with my doctorate, so I can sleep in. Right? She told me I was like 4:15, but you went there at 3:30. Because things change.
Oh, wow.
So I updated that. Do you have a rhythm for your life? How many times does something just sneak in and steal time from you? How many times does something just come in? Do the people around you know? Or have we bought into the thing that like I always have to be accessible as a leader? That's a session for another day. All right, move it up. Self-development is a system. So battle rhythm, that starts with me internally. Number 2, where am I getting my growth from? Conferences and retreats. I call this the oil change. Every car in here gets an oil change every year. At least once. 2, 3, 4 times. You don't miss this. You make that investment because you want your vehicle to keep running.
Right.
So what is the oil change for your leadership skills? Are we still working off the skills I learned during my master's program or my bachelor's program or that one motivational video or that one book that I read? And being surprised that our organizations aren't growing. More importantly, being surprised that we feel fraudulent and we feel exhausted and we feel tired. Because that book was 350 pages, and that's great that you read all of it, but that was 3 years ago. It's probably time to read a new book because things are changing. Conferences and retreats, and then books and journals. Books and journals. Read and apply. So these are habits that we can build. This is the system that part of the system is one more, and I'm going to show you this next slide. These 3 things right here are the active pieces, one second, that we can actually do that will help us to develop and to become. Go ahead, yes, sir.
For people, the last one, for people who aren't currently reading, what's a good place for them to start?
So many good places. Now look, I'm gonna give you this one because you asked, and that was a great question. But I'm gonna save it to the end because this is my newest one. All right, the Leader's Handbook. I did this one as a result of my DSL program, and just like you all got the handouts, this book is full of handouts. All right, and at the end of every section, every chapter is like kind of just a refresh piece for you to write in there notes and thoughts and stuff like that. And it is inclusive, but don't just take my word for it. He'll read it and tell you how great it was. But no, really, like, there's a lot of good answers out there, right? And there's no one place or one person, but things like this are great stuff, right? And there are going to be several other authors and speakers who are here who have books. You pick the topic, right? We get clarity of goals, helps with that, knowing exactly what I want to do. If I'm not in the medical field, then I don't have to read a book in the medical field. Not that you should exclude it, but like that may not be where you want to start. So yeah, great question. Yes, sir.
I just didn't want her to miss an opportunity to sit for man.
Okay.
Good stuff, great stuff, man.
Okay. Final part of part number 2 on the self-development is the system is the AR process. Alright, so AAR stands for After Action Review, again, an Army term that I brought here for us. Plan, yep, After Action Review. I said that real fast, we all did it.
Yes.
The After Action Review process, or AAR process. So, plans, what did I plan to do? What actually happened? What do we need to adjust? If you build this into the rhythm, and in my book, Simple Plans, I actually have a section in there that talks about that. If you build that into the rhythm of your day, then it just becomes an extension of your life. Okay? At the end of the night, one of the last things I do before I close my eyes is I just check in with my wife, hey, what were we supposed to do today? Did we get that done? Okay, what do we need to do tomorrow? Or what do we need to change? Boom, AR. It's not long, it's not drawn out, but it's strategic, and it's done regularly, and it's intentional, so that now I can frame what it is that I'm trying to do the next day. I'm not trying to do everything in this world. When I was younger, right, I had dreams, hoop dreams, right? Thought I might be on a field somewhere doing some things. But those days are gone. Now that I have clarity and I've accepted and I've moved into this space, I don't need to AR, look what I didn't do. I need to have good clarity on what I need to do next. Review quarterly and annually to stay on course for your organization, right? And again, we're talking about self-development, so how was I supposed to develop myself in the last 90 days? How was I supposed to develop myself in the last 6 months? Did I get to that conference that I was supposed to get to? Why? Not. What am I gonna do so I don't repeat that? I'm not asking why not so I can sit there and get caught in the trap and like, oh, I'm a terrible person, I hate myself, never figure it out, bad you. Right? I'm doing that so I can identify what was the distraction that kept me. What was the unplanned thing that I now know is actually not unplanned, it happens all the time. And I either need to cut that person or that thing out so that I can get to the goal that I want to accomplish. Okay? Honest reflection is the engine of continuous growth. Update your system with every promotion. And we kind of talked about that already. Alright, finally. Your organization can't outrun your vision. That's not the fill in the blank though. Alright? See further, go further. When I started putting this program together, this actually was my first point. And I was like, nope, this is the most important point, so let me save it. Let me build to this moment. You have to understand this is like, whether your organization is successful or not, this, the burden of leadership, is on your vision and your ability to lead yourself. This is why this matters. Those habits, that system, that setup, doesn't matter if you don't care about your organization. But if you want your organization to be great, if you want them to accomplish things, if you want to see real actual change in your family, right? In your business, in your ministry, you have to have vision. You have to be able to see it. So the reason my kids learn music is because there's research that suggests it develops the side of their brain that will help them in their creativity, in their thought process, in their problem solving. So I put them in music for that. Do they know that? No. Heck no. They just know that daddy's requiring them to go play. My daughter has bass guitar, my son his piano, my other son the drums. And sometimes they don't want to do it, and I make them do it anyway. 100%. Because I have a vision for them that they can't see. I can see across the horizon that they haven't gotten to. So my son's 14, my oldest one's 14 now, and every day I remind him that he has 4 years and some change till it's time for him to leave my house. It's not because I'm being mean, it's because I need to frame the context of every decision that I make for him. So when I tell him he's gotta go wash the dishes, it's because he's got 4 years and some change to get out of my house. And he's gonna be in his own house, and he needs to have clean dishes, or his mama's not gonna come over. I have to frame these decisions for him so they understand. So the other day, I'm like, hey, go clean the bathroom. Now, usually it's a shared task because he shares the bathroom with his siblings. He's like, well, what about them? I'm like, what about them? They're not gonna live with you in 4 years of change. Go clean the bathroom. Because he needs to begin to prepare for this. The other day, my daughter, I was like, hey, your brother's leaving in 4 years of some change, which means you're gonna be the oldest, you go clean the bathroom, right? I'm consistently developing them, and all of this is under the thing that we can say in our house that Lloyd's are leaders. Lloyd's are leaders. I'm developing leadership. They're always in the leadership, the Lloyd Leadership Academy. We're developing principles because I have a vision. Because I need them to go further than me. Because I need them to be the next 19-year-old running for office and changing lives and communities that really need leaders today who can see into tomorrow.
Go ahead.
Okay, how did we get you there? Number one, let's ask this question about our vision. Is your vision big or is your vision small? Now here's the thing, I know you all just said I got big vision. Alright, any small vision people? Exactly, you all just said you have big vision. Okay, but let's prove it. Proof of concepts. When bad things happen, is it feedback or is it failure?
Feedback.
Feedback.
Okay.
definitely.
Alright. Do you have opportunities or do you run into obstacles?
Both.
See? Yup. Do you take lessons or losses?
Yes.
This is what I'm gonna suggest. It breathes well in here when we're all together, that everything that happens to you, you can see it as feedback, opportunities, and lessons. But sometimes when I'm sitting there in the room all by myself,
Come on now.
it feels good. Doesn't it though? Feels like I took a big fat loss. That these are insurmountable obstacles.
Well, let me ask you this.
1 second.
Okay.
I'm a real fan. Go ahead, ask your question.
Right here.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes.
When you look at vision,
Mhm.
and especially if you're looking at vision through a vision board or your goals, most people start out small because they have to get to accomplish this first. And then they move on to larger or bigger vision. So we don't always say, oh, my vision is always big, because it's not.
Okay.
Because a lot of times we do have to start out small in order to accomplish a bigger vision. Because sometimes our perspective is not where we need it to be in order to see that vision as being big.
Gotcha. I like it. Hey, y'all feel her?
Yes.
Okay. Here, let me counter this though. Let me offer you this. God spoke to Moses and calls him in the burning bush. Right?
Right.
Does he tell him, hey Moses, hey, I want you just to go to Egypt. I'll tell you what to do from there.
He tells them that I need you to go to let my people. Let my people.
Go get my people.
Moses
Mhm.
has this small vision.
Right. So God tells Moses, he doesn't give him a small vision.
Right.
Right? He gives him the whole thing.
Right.
He says, go get my people out of Egypt,
Mhm.
bring them into the promise. That's what we have to grow. See, you know what it is that you're meant to do.
Mhm.
In the sense of, you're called to impact and change lives.
Mhm.
There's nothing small about them. The steps along the way may seem small, right?
Mhm.
The things that I have to do daily may seem small, but the end state of the movement of God in your life, there's nothing small about it.
Go ahead.
And so this is where we need to approach this with a big vision idea, even if it seems like a small step, okay? Because I will accidentally get in the habit of saying, oh, I can take a loss now, because one day then it'll become big, and then I'll turn it into a lesson. No, it's a lesson from the beginning, right? It's a lesson on how to be better. Watch this, if I'm halfway up the mountain, if I'm trying to accomplish something, and somebody says, no, you're not the guy for me, that's feedback. I'm not a failure. It's feedback that I need to change, I need to grow, I need to develop new skills, or it's feedback that this isn't where I need to be in the first place.
Ah.
Right? It's not a failure. There's no failure that just occurred there. It's just feedback that I need to make an adjustment that will enable me to continue the journey that I'm on. Does that make sense, everybody?
Yes.
So in the same way, that then allows me to narrow my niche, but it also allows me to bring clarity to my vision. Because even at the best moment of your life, there's still gonna be times when somebody's gonna come along who's gonna say something to you, or some hindrance is gonna occur. So Wayne picked me up from the airport, and we're talking, and he was like, he was driving the other day, and a car like zipped in front of him and then slammed on the brakes, right? And he almost hit that car, but he didn't hit the car. And so many times, like, we almost run into something that'll slow us down.
Come on now.
We almost get stopped. But if we can transform this into like, well, that's just a car that made a bad decision to get in front of me and slam on the brakes. That's not the end. It's just an opportunity for me to drive on around.
Good God.
It's just an opportunity for me to drive on around. So you as leaders, we as leaders, we have these seasons where it's dry.
Mhm.
We have these where the phones and the leads and the referrals, all that seems to dry up, and we begin to wonder if we're really still doing what we're supposed to be doing. I would imagine that there was maybe some polling at times that didn't look as favorable as you wanted it to, and you begin to question it. But those are just opportunities. They're not obstacles. They're opportunities for you to go ahead and say, let me rework my message. Let me go back to the website. Let me begin to innovate and think creatively. And because for many of us, we're faith-based, let me tap into the source.
That's right, yeah.
Let me go back to the person who sees and knows and can be creative in ways that we've never even imagined. But only if we don't allow our vision to become small. Great question. That helps. All right, go. Yes.
Love it, sir. I appreciate it. I have a quick question for you guys thinking on the big vision. I forget where I got it from, but there's like a term that I love. It's stubborn with the vision, flexible with the plan. And so as I hear that, one of the things I think about now is that single-handed faith is like, as I have a big vision, how do I also incorporate others' desires and hopes along the way? So I'm gonna use, like, for example, with the kids, like big vision for their lives, boys and leaders. How do we also incorporate, not that you aren't, but like make sure that we're also incorporating their desires in that as well as we're creating and like seeing our big vision for our lives and those around us.
Great question. I'm gonna use my kids as this perfect. Right, so my oldest son, we spent the whole off season. He's an athlete. We're athletic people, so we spend the whole off season working on basketball. And so he does soccer, just keep in shape, whatever, running teamwork, all that good stuff. Goes to basketball, tries out for the team, gets cut. We spent the whole off season. Like when I was getting up at 4:15 working out, he was getting up at 5. We went over and did hoops. All right, I changed my rhythm so that his rhythm could work a part of it. We were ready. We were not happy with the outcome. I was not happy with the outcome. I was not happy with the outcome. But I'm cool. I'm a dad. Like I'm freak out. Like life happens. Jordan got cut. All right, yeah. It is what it is. I got perspective. But watch this. He, because I'm putting leadership principles, because flexibility is key to that. He is like, well, I don't want to come home after school every day. There's like 6 other kids there at the house, and they're annoying, and I need something to do. So he goes to the wrestling coach, and he's like, hey, is wrestling an option? And the wrestling coach is like, sure, come on. Now the boy is wrestling. He wrestles and goes 16-3 and misses out on going to state for the first time, but it's okay, like a year 8th grade, right? Because we're flexible. And so I could have, no, let's go get a coach. You're doing off-season training, this is basketball season, weird basketball stuff. But I was like, go do you. Because that may be exactly where God wants you to be in this moment. So that's how I would say, right, if I have a vision and a vision for an organization or a vision for myself, as these things occur, this is why they're not obstacles, they're opportunities, right? That wasn't failure. He didn't fail because he got, cut from the team, right? It was feedback. This is not the season for that. He pivoted and look at what happened.
Yeah.
Does that help?
Yeah, what's up?
Got it. Good stuff. Great question. Y'all, I feel like I got it. I got it. All right, let's go. Let's finish up because my time is going, and like Dr. Wayne said, we got to do right. All right, circle check. Circle check. So, where's my notes? Okay. Rooms and wallets. Rooms and wallets. Circle check. Rooms and wallets. I got you. Rooms and wallets. Watch this. I joined the organization back in 2022. I I got to the organization and the first thing they said to me was, hey, you need to have these 3 credit cards. I said, what? I'm sorry. These 3 credit cards, that was not on I didn't sign up. What are you talking about? He's like, yo, you need to have these 3 credit cards because this is what we do and this is how we operate. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to be real vulnerable and transparent with y'all. 2 of those credit cards I applied for, I did not have good enough credit score for. They did not. They was like, nah, bro, you is not the one. I was like, but I'm in this room with these, I'm in this organization.
Right.
They said I was supposed to get that. They was like, yeah, now you got to change the thing. Okay, so then I started listening to the conversations that were going on in the room. And I started hearing some things that they were doing. And I started doing some of those things. And I got my credit right. And I reapplied for those cards. And I got those cards. That way, it gets better. So when Wayne called me up and he's like, hey, I want you to come to Cleveland, Ohio, he was like, are you gonna drive? And I was like, that's kind of a long drive. I don't really want to drive. And because of what I had did for those 2 years, I had airline points.
Go ahead.
So I was like, well, in that case, I'll just use my airline points. So I get on my airline points, I start doing my thing. Turns out I can fly first class.
All right.
Yeah.
Fancy.
Yeah.
Now wait, because I need you to see this so you believe it, so you'll do it. I show up at the Cleveland airport. Now everybody knows what's going on right now with TSA. It's crazy.
Oh my God.
Right? Like everybody, and Cleveland's a small airport, so I didn't think it would be that bad. So I show up there about like an hour and a half early, and I go in there and the line is crazy. But I'm first class. And that line was this small, right? Come on now. And so I just go onto the line and it's like, yes, oh, here you go, Mr. Lloyd. And we go ahead and I drop my bags off.
Go ahead.
But I still gotta get through pre-check. So I go all the way down. The pre-check line is crazy. So I go all the way down to the end of the line, get situated in the line, and then I hear a lady say, hey, pre-check, I got a new line opening up right now. And I just roll on through the line. Literally, it took me 10 minutes from the moment I walked into the airport to get to my gate. And then, of course, because I'm first class,
Go ahead.
plane, and the lady's like, we're not going to be doing service because of some storms. Would you like something before we take off? And I was, well, wallets and rooms, people. Who is in your circle?
Yes.
If I had the wrong people in my circle, I'd still have the wrong cards in my wallet. I wouldn't have had those points. Now I'm sitting at the, and there's nothing wrong with sitting in the back of the plane. I have sat in the back of the plane plenty of times. But that being said, and I was telling Wayne this, there was a time I sat in the back of a plane with a dude who took up his seat and my seat.
Come on.
They can't do that in first class.
Come on.
I'm just saying that if you're in the right room and if you have,
Go ahead.
now here's the thing, if you're in the wrong room,
Come on.
alright,
Don't leave us there.
if you're in the wrong room, right, then you should expect that you're gonna have the wrong things in your wallet. They say you're the sum of what's in your wallet, and it's just some of your 5 closest friends. Because you're having those conversations. Because you're in those rooms with those people who are talking about things. A buddy of mine is running to be the mayor in Augusta, Georgia. This is the guy who said to me, just offhand in another conversation we were having, everywhere I move in the Army, I buy a house and I turn it into a rental property. I was
Gracious.
like, I'm sorry, what?
Gracious.
I just happened to be in the room with some people who begin to think about things. Now he's running to be the mayor in Augusta. What do you think he's gonna do? He's like, he ain't gonna tell me. What do you think he's planning to do with this thing?
Wow.
These are the kind of conversations that you can begin to have. And that room is not always a real room. Sometimes it's a virtual room. So then once I got all these LinkedIn doctors on my thing, now they're telling me about podcasts that they're starting. And they're telling me about shows that they're doing. And they're telling me about books that they're writing. And they're telling me about all this. And what does that do for me? Well, that encourages me. That inspires me. So now it's not like, wow, I'm the only person who I know who's doing this thing. And it's so hard because I have nobody to talk to. No, I've got Dr. Gomez, and I've got Dr. Cradle, and I've got all the other doctors that you're going to hear from. And I've got all of these inspiring people. And these people inspire me daily to continue to drive, to continue to ride, to continue to climb. So then when my alarm goes off in the morning, I'm like, man, I don't really want to get up this morning. I remember this doctor. He's up. He's climbing. And we're not even mad. Like, this is not like one of those things where like only I can get mine and only he can get his, because we all got our own melon. Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
So what happens? I guess it's 2 in 1. What happens the old circle to having, I guess, the trust to form a new circle, or just like switching out from one circle to another, like you said, when you're in the wrong room, and then when you're in the new rooms, how do you transition between those two? It's like, cause you don't wanna trust the wrong people, right? But you wanna be in the right place at the right time with the right motives. I know that you have to seek God, but I guess it's two in one, because it's a fear there, I know for me, it's a fear there, it's a hesitancy there, because you're going into this new room, with people that you don't really know, you're coming out of bad rooms into new rooms, how do you transition?
No, that's a great question. So we talked about transformation, right? The process as you're going of understanding that like you're going to feel this. Anxiety, worry, fear, all of those things happen when you're transforming, when you're changing, when you're becoming what's new, right? That is inevitably uncomfortable because you have always been. And now you're saying effectively that what I've been is not enough and I need to become more. And to walk away from something that you've always done is really challenging. But here's where I would give you just an idea that we all must wrestle with. How much is it worth? How much is it worth? So you all have made an investment by coming to this conference in yourself. But that's not just like a free investment. Some there was some scholarship stuff I'm tracking, right? But you made a financial investment in developing yourself and coming to this refresh. Well, it's the same thing for rooms. How much is it worth to go into another room? And you might not be able to, you might say, like, it's worth this, but I don't have it right now. So you gotta save in order to be able to make that investment. And I would encourage you to make sure obviously it's the right investment, but that's the reason I came to read. Because it was an investment in a room and a conversation and knowledge and people, right, that I believe would help facilitate what I was trying to accomplish in the future. Right? And there have been other investments, and I will tell you that those are financial investments, and when you make that financial investment, you have to say no to some other things. This is why it's important to have clarity. This is why it's important to see the distractions. Right? Because if we're being honest, can we be honest? Right?
Yeah.
That triple shot, mocha, espresso, latte, with cinnamon that I paid, that cost me $20, and I get 3 times a week, right? It turns into 60 is 240 times 52. I know you probably got that math, right? Well, that's an investment right there. That's an investment in a mastermind, that's an investment in a coaching class, that's an investment, right, in some self-development. And so when we say no to that, so we can say yes to this, then we can walk into new rooms and be transformed, both ourselves and our world. Is that helpful? All right, good stuff. Ripple check. Ripple check. Volunteering and coaching. Volunteering and coaching. You grow by growing others. You grow by growing others. Volunteering and coaching. Now, most of us, we probably have somebody who we give back to, right? Somebody who we do this, but also sometimes in the business scale, in the business world, it can be really easy for us to get locked in and focused on ourselves, and just trying to get out of it something, right? What's the ROI? With them, what's in it for me? Okay? You gotta think about what's in it for others. Okay? Self-development, right? This is what we're talking about here, climbing that mountain. It's never about just getting there for yourself. When I do my Climb Your Mountain videos, I say, climb your mountain, shine your light, save a life. Climb your mountain, shine your light, save a life. There's somebody out there in the darkness who needs to be inspired about what you do. They reached out. They were standing there on the side as you walked by, but you were so busy. And what we don't understand is actually the growth that comes from actually giving to others. Because then they ask you that question, and you got to get that answer. Then they give you this opportunity to speak into their life, and you got to be ready for it. So you got to do some research, and you got to grow, and you got to come back. My guy over here is a music teacher, and we were talking last night because he said he got 3 brilliant students, 3 geniuses that just, they're so good, their 80% is better than most. Well, as he's working with them, he's got to grow to be able to push that. He's got to develop himself. We were talking about strategies. He's like, I'm changing verbiage. I'm pushing them to the end. Like, I'm like, go, 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 go. So they run into that hard point. So now I can teach. Now I can develop. Now I can tell them. I'm using all y'all. That's how it is. When we begin to walk with others on this journey, when it stops being about just us, from a self-development perspective, then there's no telling what you. So incorporate that into your habits. Any other questions? Okay. In summary, scale your mountain, self-development, build your system, discipline, consistency, battle rhythm, expand your vision, upgrade your circle, upgrade your rooms, grow others, coaching, mentoring, volunteering, unison, AR, quarterly update with every promotion. Are you the door or the wall? Are you the door or the wall? For your organization. Here's the thing. I want you to know beyond a shadow of a doubt that you being here today proves that you want to be the door. That you want to be the door for your organization to grow. That you want to be the person who leads your organization to the top. Who's right there in the trenches with you. That's what you said about people here. I salute you for that. I'm so proud of you. Give yourself a round of applause. Like D. Gomez said, you could have spent your Saturday anywhere else, but you are here. Keep doing the good work. It's all my time. If you have any desire or need any help with this along the way, I want you to know. Is everybody good with this slide? Okay. That Voiceware LLC is available to you. Okay. That's my QR code down there. It's the service. If you have questions, you want to get in touch, want us for anything, let us know. We're on Instagram, TikTok, some other ways that you can get in touch with us as well. We're here, happy to serve. But that is my time. Dr. Cradle, thank you very much.
Did you all enjoy that? Yes. Give him another hand. So, first of all, Dr. Lloyd, on behalf of Cradle LLC, we want to bless you. Thank you so much for your time. Somebody asked me whether or not I was speaking at my own conference, and I said, no, I'm not. Because there are many people in the field of leadership who are doing amazing things, and I want to be able to be a wall. Excuse me, a door. I was just quizzing y'all to make sure y'all were listening. I was just, yeah, so that means you were listening. No, I want to be a door. I want to be a door. I want to be a door. It's a blessing when you come with a package of other people. When you come with a network of other people. That's where the blessing is. If it only stops at you,
Come on.
then your organization is limited. I will not preach because he's already done the amazing job. But many times it stops with us, and that's the problem. We become the bottleneck of our organizations.
Come on.
And that's why they cannot be released to do great things. So the question becomes, again, am I the one in the way? God, help me to get out of the way. What am I not looking at? What am I not seeing? Who around me is an asset? Who around me is gifted? What am I missing out on? Okay, I'm getting excited. I love this. And it is time for break. And whenever you see my beautiful, illustrious wife,